Hello, my wonderful English learners. Welcome back. Wherever you are listening from, I am glad you are here. Before we start today's story, I want to ask you something simple. Have you ever made a choice and felt completely sure about it? Then later, you realized you were wrong. You gave away something valuable and kept something that was worth almost nothing. Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to get everything slips through your fingers? Yet, when you let go of your greed and try to do the right thing, people may begin to trust you, and trust can open doors that money cannot. Today's story is about two men who found the same thing on the same afternoon. One man saw a chance to get rich. The other man simply tried to do what was right. Their lives went in completely different directions. This story may not answer every question you have about luck or destiny, but I think by the end, you will look at your own choices in a different way. Make yourself comfortable. Let us begin. Many years ago, there was a small town on a road that connected the farms to the larger cities. It was not a famous town, but many people passed through it every day. Before sunrise, carts came in with vegetables, grain, and firewood. Shopkeepers opened their doors. Travelers stopped for a hot meal or a place to sleep. Near the market gate, poor men waited with empty pockets, hoping someone would give them work for the day. For people with money, the town was only a place to stop and rest. But for people like Miles and Sam, it was the whole world. It was where they looked for work, where they bought cheap bread, and where they hoped tomorrow would be better than today. Miles and Sam were not brothers. They were not close friends either. But they had both fallen on hard times, and they traveled together because on a hard road, two men are better than one. Miles was clever and quick with words. He knew how to smile at the right time, how to sound friendly, and how to make a selfish idea sound fair. He was not a violent man. He did not look dangerous. In fact, many people liked him when they first met him. But Miles hated losing. If he had a chance to get a little more food, a little more money, or a little more comfort than another man, he always took it. He did not call it cheating. He called it being smart. Sam was quieter than Miles. He usually kept to himself, and he did not enjoy arguing in the street. Some people thought he was simple because he did not fight over a small piece of bread or a few coins. But Sam was not simple. He noticed more than people guessed. He only believed that poverty was already heavy enough. He did not want it to take his honesty too. One cold afternoon, Miles and Sam walked back toward town after a long day of looking for work. They had gone to the market, the shops, and the farms, but no one needed help. Their clothes were still damp from the morning rain, and their stomachs were empty. Near the edge of town, they passed an abandoned house with a broken roof, dark windows, and weeds growing around the door. Miles stopped and looked inside.
"Old houses often keep old things,"
he said. Sam looked at the broken door.
"And sometimes they hide trouble,"
he said quietly. Miles laughed.
"Trouble is already with us. Maybe there is something useful inside."
They stepped into the house. The air smelled of dust and wet wood. Dry leaves covered the floor, and pale light came through holes in the roof. Miles began searching at once, kicking through the leaves and moving broken boards with his foot. Then his boot hit something hard. He bent down and pulled a small wooden box out of the dirt. It was old, but beautifully made. There were 3 deep red stones on top of the box. They looked bright, smooth, and expensive. Miles's eyes opened wide. He called Sam over, and they opened the box together. Inside, there was no gold, no silver, and no coins. There was only one small gray pill in the middle of the box. For a moment, both men were silent. Miles looked disappointed at first, then his eyes became sharp. Why would anyone keep one small gray pill inside such a fine box? Maybe the box was valuable, but maybe the pill was the real treasure. Then Miles said,
I found it, so I should choose first.
Sam said nothing. Miles took the pill quickly and wrapped it in a piece of cloth. Then he handed the wooden box to Sam. He said,
You take the box. The red stones may be worth something. I will take the pill. Maybe it is just some old medicine.
The box looked more valuable, and Sam did not want to argue, so he accepted it. When they returned to town, he took it to a small shop near the market. The shop owner was away, but his young assistant studied the box carefully. The assistant looked up and said,
If these stones are real, this box could bring a good price. But the shop owner must look at it first. Come back tomorrow.
Sam left the shop feeling optimistic. But in a small town, news travels quickly. Before sunset, Miles heard a rumor that the box might be worth 20 gold coins. Suddenly, the pill seemed worthless to him. He forgot that he had chosen first. All he could see were the red stones and the money he might have lost. That evening, Miles found Sam near the river. He sat beside him and spoke in a soft, friendly voice.
Sam, I am having second thoughts. Maybe we did not divide things fairly. The pill was inside the box, so maybe it should stay with the box. And since I found the box first, maybe I should have the box after all. I chose too quickly. We should trade.
Sam looked at Miles for a long moment. He understood what had changed. Miles had heard about the price. For a moment, Sam wanted to say no. He was hungry, and he had almost nothing. That box might be his first real chance in a long time. But he also knew Miles. If he refused, Miles would turn one wooden box into an argument that would never end. So Sam gave him the box, and Miles gave Sam the gray pill. Sam did not feel happy, but he knew that some fights were not worth winning. The next morning, a notice appeared in the town center. Mr. Alden, the richest man near the town, had an old father who had been sick for many days. His fever went up and down. He could not eat. Some days he knew his family, and some days he did not. Several doctors had tried to help, but nothing worked for long. The notice promised a reward to anyone who could help. Sam thought about the pill in his pocket. He was not a doctor, and he did not want to give the family false hope. So he did not go to Mr. Alden's house first. Instead, he went to the best doctor in town. The doctor was an experienced old man who had helped sick farmers, children, and travelers for many years. Sam placed the pill on the doctor's table and explained everything. The doctor listened quietly and then examined the pill carefully. He scraped a tiny bit from the side, mixed it with warm water, and smelled it again. Then he tested a tiny amount, waited, and nodded slowly. At last, the doctor said,
I know what this is. It is rare, but it is real medicine. When I was a young doctor, my teacher used something like this for dangerous fevers. It may help Mr. Alden's father, but it must be prepared carefully. I cannot promise a cure.
Sam nodded.
That's why I brought it to you. I do not know enough.
The doctor took Sam to Mr. Alden's house. He told the family everything clearly and said the medicine was worth trying. Mr. Alden looked toward his father's room and said nothing for a moment. His father was growing weaker, and the other doctors had already left without any answer. At last, Mr. Alden and his family agreed. That evening, the doctor gave the old man a small amount of the medicine. Nothing changed at first. The next day, the fever came back, but it was not as bad. The old man was not entirely out of the woods yet, but on the third day, he opened his eyes and knew his son's name. By the end of the week, he could sit up and eat a little soup. When people asked the doctor what had happened, he answered carefully,
The medicine helped, but so did rest, care, clean water, and time.
A few days later, Mr. Alden asked Sam to come to his house. He rewarded Sam handsomely, and he also offered him steady work in his storehouse. I need a man I can trust when I am not in the room, Mr. Alden said. Sam accepted. His life did not become easy in one day, but it became steady. As for Miles, he had taken the wooden box to the shop the very next morning. The shop owner looked at the stones carefully in the clear light and shook his head. He said,
These are not real rubies. They are mere imitations made of colored glass. The box has some value, but not much.
Miles left with only a few coins. Years later, people still said Sam was lucky. Maybe he was. Luck put the box under the leaves. Luck put the pill inside it. But the rest was not only luck. Sam chose to tell the truth. He chose to go to the doctor first. He thought about the sick man before the reward. Luck may place something in your hands, but your choices show what kind of person you are. And sometimes, one small choice is enough to send two lives in completely different directions. If this story helped you practice English, please like, comment, and subscribe. Before we go, let's quickly review some key words and useful phrases from today's story. Fall on hard times means to go through a very difficult period in life. Usually, it means you have no money and are struggling to survive. Example: Miles and Sam were not brothers and not close friends, but they had both fallen on hard times. They walked through the market, hoping to find work for the day. Keep to oneself means to stay quiet, low profile, or prefer to be alone. Example: Sam kept to himself while others shouted in the market. He did not argue or draw attention, quietly moving from stall to stall looking for work. Have second thoughts means to change your mind or start doubting a decision you already made. Example: Miles had second thoughts when he heard rumors about the value of the box. He ran to Sam and asked if they could exchange it. false hope. Means making someone believe that something good will happen even when it probably will not. Example: Sam thought about the pill in his pocket. He was not a doctor and did not want to give the family false hope by promising a cure. Out of the woods. Means no longer in severe danger or difficulty, but not completely safe or healthy yet. Example: The old man's fever was weaker, but he was not yet entirely out of the woods. Sam continued to watch carefully, making sure he drank enough water and rested. Optimistic. Means feeling positive and hopeful about the future, believing that good things will happen. Example: Sam left the shop feeling optimistic. He held the box with the red stones and thought maybe this time he could finally earn something to survive. Imitation. Means a copy of something. It looks like the real thing, but it is actually fake. Example: The shop owner examined the red stones and shook his head. These are not real. They are only imitations made of colored glass. Handsomely. Means very generously, usually given as a large amount of money or a big reward. Example: A few days later, Mr. Alden rewarded Sam handsomely for helping his father. He also offered him steady work in his storehouse.
Your progress so far has already been wonderful. If you'd like to keep going and feel even more confident with your English, feel free to check out the next video or take a look at some of the other ones we've picked for you.